Hello, everyone. June the Great. Okay. So I wanted to get this video out today of how I escaped incest. Mind you, these videos aren't very easy for me to make, and it takes me a long time to actually get around to making it after stalling, after making up all these reasons not to make it. But I'm starting to understand that a lot of people out there need this information. Being a rape and incest survivor myself, I noticed that when I look on the internet, there's not shit out there about yeah, you can look up incest and rape and get numbers to hotlines and things of that nature, or women's support groups. But the actual how-tos to get out of a situation initially, we need stuff like that just by everyday people who go through it themselves. So maybe my experience can help some of you guys who may be dealing with um, a similar event or environment that I was recently in not too long ago. I understand that a lot of you guys need resources, so I'm here to be one of those resources. Keep in mind that I am not a doctor, though, so I'm not going to be like I'm the end all be all for your resources. If you feel like you need to see professional for help, by all means do so. Yeah, seek out a hotline or a support group, whatever you feel like you need, whatever resonates with you. Use your inner knowledge and your intuition. But I'm just here to touch on some things that I feel is very important to say. So with that being said, I am going to say all I need to say in this video. First of all, before I get into my story a little bit, which I've already touched on in I am a survivor of incest, I'm pretty much going to just tell you how that incest is not, it's not okay. Basically, incest and rape is not okay. So if you're in a situation right now, this is directed to you. This is directed to the people who may have rationalized it in their mind that the situation they're living in, if it is pertaining to sexual assault or abuse in general, that is okay. If you live in a situation where someone has conditioned you to believe that it is not a crime, then you need to get out ASAP. So if you're in a family situation where everyone's like, oh, no, it's okay, sweetie, or simply ignoring the fact that it's happening to you, if you try to, for example, bring it to your mother, like I try to, and they try to turn the blind eye or even tell you straight up, like, look, let's keep this a secret. We can't have this get out because such and such may get in trouble. Fuck that. You need to get out as soon as possible. This is something that I wish I knew at a very young age, and I'm going to touch on all these ranges. If you're old enough to look at this video or look up this kind of information, then you need to get out ASAP. Maybe you're too young to actually take care of yourself, so let's say like 13 years old, 12 years old, anything in that range. You still need to get yourself out of the situation. Simply just walk out the door or don't come home from school type of shit. And tell a teacher, family member, someone you feel safe to confide in. Just tell, the first thing you want to do is tell someone that it's happening to you. But first of all, you need to understand that it's not your fault, and that you do not have to put up with this type of situation. So understand that right now, and that you are worthy of a greater life, and you do not have to stay in this situation because of someone being your family member, being of authority figure to you, because people will use that against you. But fuck that. Again, get yourself into a better situation, into safety. What else can I tell you guys? So with that being said, I'm going to touch on like how I like my story a little bit and how you can go about escaping a situation in further detail. So my situation is very recent. That I'm 25, but it's still very recent since I've really truly broken off from my biological family. A lot of growing up in incest and being sexually assaulted within my family was very concerned about how things looked on the outside, meaning, yes, it was all this bad, crazy, secretive shit happening behind closed doors. But my family was very good at controlling, manipulating the household and even the outside world, as far as like making sure that kids always did sports or like did some great accomplishments and shit. Always acted with good manners, spoke well, didn't use slang, shit like that. Like, they're really concerned about their jobs or how things were perceived by everyone else. Family always stuck together and shit like that. But the problem was, behind closed doors, all this crazy shit was happening that my mother in general was in denial about, or maybe she just didn't know how to handle it. It still was no excuse for to let something as such as incest go on for so long. I get that some mothers or situations, people don't know, they don't want to pick sides or family members or whatever the case, but that is very damaging for the survivor. This can cause a lifetime of sexual problems, problems expressing oneself sexually, or even just your self-esteem. It can affect how you view yourself in the mirror. It's the cause of a lot of suicides, I believe. And it just, when you transition into adulthood to finally be on your own, it just causes so many problems. So the sooner you can get out of a situation, the better. But yeah, like my situation, my mother was just in denial a lot. She pretty much knew what was happening to me, and she continued to allow it to happen because of how things would look if something got out like this on the internet, like I'm doing now. It would just be the end of everything. But at this point, I was like, fuck it. The world needs to know what happened to me, and I need to be brave. But with that being said, since when you're little, you're growing up, you're giving all your power to the big people, the adults who are supposed to take care of you. So you're kind of pretty much powerless. So up until like 18, or some people even further, because they don't know how to like rely on themselves, your power is being given to the people who the adults. And unfortunately, when you're little and powerless, you don't have a say. These people are feeding you, they're clothing you, and all this shit. So you feel like you're powerless. Plus if whatever the adults say, it goes. So you pretty much just, if you're anything like me, you pretty much just followed through with whatever the adults tell you to do, even staying in an abusive situation. But I'm here again to tell you that is not what you have to do. I wish someone told me that, but a lot of times we are told to always listen to the grown-ups or the adults no matter what. But what people don't understand is that adults do rape children, and it does happen even by biological family members. Especially a lot of cases go unheard of because of that, because it's something that is taught to be so shameful to talk about. But what else happened? So recently, I since my mother and everyone was so conditioned to go in denial or to become okay with what was happening, I had no choice but to become okay with what was happening. Even though it was killing me inside, my voice was basically taken from me, and my body was no longer mine. I had to just do whatever the fuck everyone else told me to do. And for a long time, that was killing me inside. So when I got older, I went in such denial that I started suppressing my whole childhood memories, suppressing everything from my past. My mother, she taught me how to love my abuser. So all of that was becoming a part of my reality. I started thinking shit was okay. And that's just a crazy, twisted way to think of it. But a lot of people blame the victim or make the victim feel like nothing is happening, nothing is wrong, everything's okay. And believe it or not, a lot of victims believe that. But for so many years, stuff like that was going on. Then like a year or so ago, I broke off from my family because I started having a lot of PTSD, start having a lot of bits and pieces of memories coming up, a lot of shit going on that kind of would spark memories of what happened in our family. So I decided to distance myself and cut myself off completely. I actually asked my mother straight up if anything happened to me, and her response told me everything. So with that being said, basically having my mother laugh in my face and saying, "You're not getting any answers here," I cut off completely from my family, and that was still very recent. So I'm still pretty much healing from my incest wound till this day. And I haven't came to terms with if I want to, as I get settled into my new life, if I want to do therapy or not. I kind of use my videos as a therapy or to help others get through at least the initial stages of incest and rape. But this point in my life, pretty much how I did it was like, you have to first get yourself out of the situation totally. Don't look back. Never look back. Just like cut ties from the abusers and even the people around that person saying that it's okay or downplaying the situation. No, this shit is serious and it needs to be handled as such. Even if you have to be the person saying, no, this happened to me, and you have to be the only one believing it, well, so be it. But you have to get yourself out of the situation completely, cut ties from the people, meaning change your number if you have to. I changed my number, changed some emails, changed my name on YouTube, things like that. Just cut off all direct access to you. Even if it's something extreme as like you live in a small town city, get out of that city, to be honest. Like I had traveled, my city was too small. Everyone knew everybody. I didn't want to be easily found by my family. And it was honestly something scary, like being more open about it in YouTube. My family, Lord knows how crazy they are to cover something up like this, because they went to such an extreme for so many years. But your first priority is yourself. So get yourself out of the situation, cut off all ties, go to somewhere safe, whether it's a friend's house who will let you crash, whether it's a shelter, whether it's a woman's shelter, something. Just get to somewhere, police station. And it's up to you if you want to report the person or not. Maybe you're not strong enough now to do it. Maybe you are. Just do what you feel in your heart is the right action to do. Next, you just want to cut all ties. Don't look back. Don't blame yourself. So don't blame yourself for what happened, because it's not your fault. Violence is something that happens to us, not something that we impose on ourselves. It's not something that, oh, you're too beautiful, that's why it happened. Oh, you're too, like, half the time you're in majority of the time you're in a situation where you were powerless. Someone did this to you. It was put upon you, not something that you asked for. So get that out of your head, that it's something that you deserve because you did it. Once you understand that, get the guilt out of your body and your mind and your soul. Meaning, yes, if it's family, for example, we want to feel bad because family is family, but family can be toxic as well. They're just people, just like anyone else, but they're just related to us by blood. It does not mean that we do not love them if we part ways from them. It means that we love ourselves more. And honestly, what they did is not right, so let it go. Meaning, stop using the excuse that they're your family and this is something that I can do. Stop using the excuse that they're your family to keep them in your mind, body, and soul. Let them go. And of course, some of this will take time. It's not going to be overnight, especially if you're trying to get out of a situation as of like recent situation. Get someone to confide in, to cry to talk to. Trust yourself. So trust yourself more than ever in this time. Do not back out. Do not fold. Do not feel like you're powerless. Do not provide on your abuser. They may have money to lure you back in. They may have, oh, I'll teach you better to lure you back in. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm this. No, your primary thing is to get the fuck away. And if you think of it as life and death, if you have to, because if it won't change, basically. So what else can you do? Something else you can do is just focus on your future from here on out. Understand that this isn't the end all be all, because a lot of times I've been there where I feel like I want to give up on the world, where I don't want to exist anymore, where I even want to die. But understand that things happen for a reason, and that when you start healing, as you are now, you will be able to use your wound as a power. And you may not understand it right now, and I'm not trying to make you understand it right now, but understand that you're here for a reason and that you owe it to yourself to stick around. And something that I kept telling myself for years is that it has to get better. And even though I couldn't see it for a long time, I just kept the belief that it has to get better. But you have to believe in yourself and get yourself out of the situation initial to start with, because ultimately your life is your own. Even if you're young, your life is your own still, and no one deserves to treat you just any type of way. But that is all I have to say today to you guys. I will obviously touch on more videos like this to help you guys out. Hopefully this helps someone, even one person. If you have more private questions, you can feel free. Don't be shy to message me in my email. Any questions you have, or my Instagram. I know stuff like this is hard to reach out about, or even to trust yourself in, but give yourself a chance. Be dope, be you unapologetically. Peace.